Hello, I'm Paul Pluter and welcome to the ArchieLuxury channel. I'm the method actor who plays AC3, the Pontiff's Pontiff, the Pontiff, and the Governor's Governor. Remember, like, subscribe, and tell your friends about my channel. Today, I'm doing a paid review for John. Here we go. Hello, Archie. My name is John, and I've been a big fan of your YouTube work for many years. I am asking advice from you because I need an unbiased opinion from a third party. My question is, should I be baptized as a Jehovah's Witness later this year? Oh. I hope I'm not too late. This was sent on June 3. What's the date? Okay, we've still got a bit of time. I will try to give a brief summary of my circumstances in the next few paragraphs. English is not my first language, so please excuse the grammar. Last year, 2 Jehovah's Witnesses knocked on my door on a Saturday morning. They asked me if I knew God's name. When I replied no, they told me God's name is Jehovah. I had a friendly conversation with them for 15 minutes about Christianity, and then they left. The following week, 2 different Jehovah's Witnesses knocked on my door and gave me a free Bible literature. It seemed like every week I would receive a visit from different Jehovah's Witnesses. Over time, I eventually accepted a free home Bible study. Growing up, both of my parents were devout atheists. Religious discussions were never allowed within my home. I appreciated the kindness from these Jehovah's Witnesses. They had an answer for every question I asked. After a few Bible studies, I was invited to attend their church, which is called a Kingdom Hall. When I arrived for my very first time at Kingdom Hall, I was greeted by so many friendly people. It was like a love bomb. Over several months, I developed a real friendship with these people. Once I finished What Does the Bible Really Teach book with my Bible teacher, I was asked to confirm my love for God by becoming a baptized Jehovah's Witness. Impulsively, I cried, of course, after my Bible teacher left. I started to feel anxious. I had heard rumors about Jehovah's Witnesses and their organization, the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society, but I never investigated them. I ended up searching Jehovah's Witnesses on YouTube that night, and I almost had a heart attack. Apparently, the Australian Royal Commission investigated the Watchtower organization recently and discovered that the Jehovah's Witnesses did not report thousands of cases of child molestation to the authorities. I also learned that if I ever leave the religion as a baptized Jehovah's Witness, then all of my new friends will shun me until I return. This does not sound like a loving Christian organization. The following day, I called my Bible teacher and told him that I misspoke and I wasn't ready to be baptized. He seemed sad but said he understood. I have a feeling he spoke with the rest of the congregation about our discussion because the next time I visited the Kingdom Hall, everyone kept highlighting the benefits of becoming a baptized Jehovah's Witness. Every time I visit the Kingdom Hall, I feel awkward now. I haven't told anyone about the information I discovered because I fear they will label me as an apostate. I'm just tired of giving a random excuse for my hesitation about baptism. Do you have any experience with the Jehovah's Witnesses? Should I just bite the bullet and become baptized even though I might regret this at a later date? Or should I just find new friends? Thank you. Okay, very interesting question here. And this is the person to ask, ArchieLuxury. So, I honestly, I gotta be completely honest, I don't know if this is a prank email into me or it's not a prank email, but let's go through this thing. We'll just treat it as it is because money was attached to it, so I'm glad to answer in my opinion. So what do I think there? Look, I think Jehovah's Witnesses, there are good Jehovah's Witnesses, there are bad Jehovah's Witnesses, okay? There's good and bad in all organizations. I personally don't really like the Jehovah's Witness religion. I really don't like them because I really feel they are, like a lot of religions out there, they really are preying on the vulnerable, the needy, And as you say there, you've written this email to me. You're right. It is a form of brainwashing. In this society, it's very easy for us to be lonely, and we're accepted into this group, and they're friendly. And look, the thing is this. I take it you're an adult, so as far as these bad things that happened with the thousands of child molestation cases weren't reported, look, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness and I don't have much knowledge there, but I think you as an adult, it's not going to be a huge problem there. I mean, that's something that's happened in the past there. I think a lot of Jehovah's Witness people, you know, I've often seen them as a cult. If you, obviously you've gone on the internet and you've looked there, I think Germany and Russia have been extremely hard on these organizations, the same as Scientology and other forms of these type of religious organizations there. And what is the opinion? What is my opinion? Look, I really think I can see a lot of in my opinion, I think they do prey on vulnerable, lonely people. There are a lot of vulnerable, lonely people, and they are recruiting. They are recruiting. So you have to look at this thing. It's like joining any cult or any group there. They obviously they've got a certain marketing technique. Their technique is they come out to speak Jesus' word. They come out, they talk, they're nice. They've got a sort of a systemized approach. It's a bit like selling a car. They're selling Jesus. It's an intangible type good. Now, they're not the only people who are selling Jesus. There's many different versions of it, like a Ford version, a General Motors version, and there's even a Mercedes version of Jesus. I would say the Jehovah's Witness, it's sort of like a Chrysler version of Jesus. You know, it's a little bit dodgy. I mean, it looks good enough from the outside, but you know, they're probably not one of the more upmarket ones. They've got a abysmal track record, terrible resale value, and the balloon payment at the end is a real killer. So it's really not my cup of tea, but it depends what you are searching for in your life. I think how you've written this email here, are you not happy in your life? I mean, I had a Jehovah's Witness knock on my door today. And I just quickly, he interrupted me through a live show, and I said, "What the hell do you want?" And I could tell he's Jehovah's Witness. They wear those suits with the, you can just tell a mile away. And I said, "Look, I'm busy, please. I don't like the Jehovah's Witness religion. In my opinion, I don't like the way they do things." Does that mean it's wrong for you? Well, not necessarily. It depends what you want. The thing is with them, they've got a number of issues which some people find that they don't believe in blood transfusions. Now, I don't really want a blood transfusion, but if I was dying, I'd probably pick the blood transfusion instead of dying. They don't look too happily on divorce, or they don't look too happy on you know, being a solo player, if you know what I mean there. They want you to get married, and, you know, maybe if you're really lonely and they've got really hot chicks there, maybe you could find, you know, you could go there, you could possibly get a Jehovah's Witness wife. The downside is, of course, is that I believe they do become very, very mind controlling. You end up spending your time with Jehovah's Witnesses. They tend to control your social life, and, you know, you tend to move with the clique of people. And some people have said that is a bit brainwashy. I mean, it all depends on how hot the bird they set you up is. And it's funny, you know, I worked with a guy many years ago who was a Jehovah's Witness. He was a pretty nice, likable guy. I kind of said to him, you know, I had a bit of time. I spoke to him about the Jehovah's Witness religion. I said, "Oh, it's a cult, it's evil, it's this and that." And he said, "You know, when I was in it, it was all okay." His parents were Jehovah's Witness. He said, "You know, I never really saw it as a bad, evil thing. It was okay. It was just the church." And he was forced to marry in the Jehovah's Witness religion, and he really didn't enjoy that. He sort of, the marriage ended up in divorce. But the thing is this, look, it depends what you want. What do you want in your life? I mean, life can be a lonely thing. Many of us there are looking for something. We get let down so badly. I mean, in my case this week, I asked a few very close friends of mine if I could lend a small amount of money, considering, I had a bit of a financial problem, and I soon learnt very quickly that I was really on my own. See, when you're in a group, like a church group there, it can be very cliquey. You feel part of an organization, you feel proud, positive. There are many benefits from being in that. I tend to be a bit of a cynical guy who thinks that they're a bunch of brainwashing thieves who just want you to tithe and give all your money and time to the church. I really don't like once you join the Jehovah's Witnesses, you've got to do some recruiting, door knocking, and it's like selling Amway. Ooh, it's just so awful. Personally, I think the real problem is you've got some issues in your life. Are you not happy? I think this is the real thing. You may have sent this in as a joke. Fair enough. You may have sent it in because, many of us here, we don't have really good friends or bonds. Our parents move away. We move away from our parents. Your parents could be atheists. They could have, if they're atheists, they probably divorced because they, I'm not trying to be rude to atheists, but they possibly had a few marital indiscretions and those sort of things, they stack up and there's too much water under the bridge, so they've gone their own way. They've possibly started their own family. You feel alienated. You don't really fit in. So I can understand exactly. This is exactly what happens with cults. They prey on people's vulnerability. Now, you've got to look at your own life and say, what is it that'll make you happy? Are you lonely? Is that the problem? You've got to look at things in yourself and say, what is it that really makes me happy, and what do I want to do with my life? So I think if you really pull your life apart and say, well, what is happening in your life? What is it you want? Like, many of us want different things. If you want to be someone who has a Ferrari or a prestige European car, maybe joining this group isn't the way to go. If you want to lead a very meager type existence, you want to do a lot of community stuff, you want to give 10% of your income to these people here, maybe it's the group to join. On the plus side, you could possibly get a wife they hit you up with. Just make sure there's the good-looking ones. That's what you want. You want a good-looking one, preferably with very wealthy parents. It's possibly worth joining up for that, but you'd have to be a bit, they probably reserve that for their elders. That's their more prestigious people in the movement. So I really think that I really think myself there that it is all really dicey. I don't think it's a group I'd want to join myself. I like to be an independent thinker. I mean, maybe it's time for you to try and find, if you're a young chap, you want to see the world, maybe it's time to do a bit of backpacking and going and seeing what the world holds for you there. It's something you've got to really discover yourself. I don't think joining this group here, look, you want to join, that's fine. You don't want to join, don't. I think you've got to really look at your life and say, what do you want to do? I mean, look, I would love to do a follow-up email to this. Maybe if you could give me a bit about yourself. How old are you? What's your circumstances financially? Do you want to travel? What's your aims in life? What do you want? Are you just needlessly plowing through, or are you looking at something serious here? So I really think myself there the best thing you can do is think before you do anything serious. Check out whether they've got really attractive girls there, because if you join the movement, they may set you up. So I would probably do a bit of investigation. What are the single lady folk in that clan like? Are they attractive? Do they have money? Because it's not too bad to join if you meet up with a nice heiress, but if you meet up with somebody who's got no money, I don't know if you'd really want to do that. So I think myself, just think before you honestly go through with these things here. It is I mean, you can always piss off. You can join and then you can quit later and say, I don't like you guys, goodbye. I mean, you could do that. I would tend to, personally, no, don't join up. Don't join up. Just go and see what is missing in your life, because I'm sure that's what the real problem is. I'm Paul Pluta. This has been a paid review. I'm going to post this on the ArchieLuxury channel. Tell me what you guys think of that. Like, subscribe, tell your friends.